What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Oh, where
That's
do
interesting.
Panthers play at home tonight? They can win it at home tonight.
That's why.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's totally why. Because when I turned it on, I was expecting a pregame, and I was like, why is it already, like, the bottom of the first? But it's the Panthers could win at home tonight, so.
Which would be crazy if they do.
Yeah. Very.
Oh,
I'm so tired.
same. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 113 of the Underground Circuit podcast. As always, my name is Owen. That is my sister, Casey. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have potentially a long one for you.
Jam-packed episode.
Jam-packed episode today. We are going to be talking a lot about Canada, pretty much. Basically, Casey's experience in Canada, my mom and dad's experience in Canada, what they thought about it. Then we're going to do our race recap. Before all that, though, we're also going to do our IndyCar race recap, which was a fun race to watch. And after that, we have our F1 Threads mailbag.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Never mind. I lied. Don't listen to me. This whole episode is a lie. But as always, before we get into it, please make sure you go follow us on our Instagram and Threads over at Underground Circuit _. It is spelled exactly the same way the name of the show is spelled. Over on Twitter at UG Circuit Pod and over on TikTok at Underground _Circuit. If you're watching on YouTube, which you definitely should be, they're all scrolling at the bottom. So it makes it super easy. Go and follow us over there. We are fun to hang out with over there, specifically on Threads. The whole F1 Threads community is a blast to be a part of and everything. So go hang out with us there. Make sure to go follow us. We post news. We talk about races. We just interact in general with everybody. So go hang out over there. We will not be doing a meme of the week this week.
No, we're skipping it.
Yeah, just because we felt that it would be a little bit longer. But we are, as always, starting with our news of the week, even though there isn't that much.
Yeah, but it's also about Canada, so just continues the Canada theme.
Yeah, it kind of works perfectly. So go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously it was announced today that Canadian Grand Prix is not going anywhere for a very long time. They've extended their contract through or to 2035. Which is great. Yeah, it deserves the extension, that race. That track, that city. So yeah, very exciting for that news to break. I actually will say yesterday when we were on the ride home, the local radio station before we crossed the border said it. And was like, this should be breaking soon. And that didn't break till today. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, they had it for a while then.
Yeah, they had it for a very long time. But yes, so extending through 2035, which is great. So
it's great. I love that track. I think it's a beautiful track. I love that it's on an island, just like on its own. I feel like that would, and you can definitely confirm this now, that would lend itself to like being in your like own little world when you're there.
Literally, you're just in one F1 related universe.
Right.
Like, nothing else. You don't even know that there's a city like across the river. Like it's all F1, all racing when you're over there during the race.
But yep, 2035 for Canada. It's good news. We like that track. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. It was a pretty not boring news week in the motorsport world, but there was, I mean, a lot of the stuff that like newsworthy is going to be in our race recap, I feel like. So, but yeah. So, I guess we can also mention that obviously we're not really going to talk about it. I didn't get to watch most of it. I want to watch the highlights, but Le Mans was this past weekend as well.
Yes.
Ferrari did win their class division. I have to look at the other ones, but Ferrari's literally the only one I've seen. But yeah, they got They got first, third, and fourth. And I know yesterday there was something that they could be disqualified, one of the cars, but I didn't see the outcome of that. They were disqualified?
They were disqualified, yes.
Okay.
I don't remember what for, though. I'm blanking on it. But yes, they were disqualified. I also don't know who, like
It's
which
the 50 car. I think that's that's Antonio Fuoco, the one that won last year, the one that got fourth. They breached their rear wing technical regulations in 2 ways, so that's why they were disqualified.
Got it. Technical regulation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, that was pretty much our weekly news, as we said, easy. But we're gonna move on to race recap. We'll start off with Pints and Pit Stops first. We're gonna do IndyCar first, get that out of the way. But like Owen said, it was those 30. I watched the 30-minute recap, and that was an intense 30-minute.
It was
highlight reel.
Yeah. It was insane.
Yeah.
The 30-minute recap. It's those ovals, man.
The ovals are so good.
They're so good.
So good. But yes, so we will do Pints and Pit Stops first.
Oh,
Obviously,
it's gonna be bad.
No, I don't think it's going to be. If you're new here, this is where Owen normally tries a beer beforehand, which is the pint. It's water today. Pit stop is, I'm going to ask him 5 questions, basically 5 trivia questions about the IndyCar race from this past weekend. I'll start my timer after I'm done reading the first question. For every question he gets right, he loses a second. For every question he gets wrong, he gains a second. So that's the pit stop time.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I guess.
No, I really think you're gonna be fine. I think if you watch the 30-minute recap, that's the only thing. That's what I'm saying. The third question might be the one that you're like, but they do make a chance. They do like make an effort to show what's going on. So
okay. All right.
Who was on pole?
But skip. I don't know.
Where was Malukas at the end of lap 1?
First.
How many laps down was DeFrancesco when he rejoined?
13.
Oh. How quick was the AMR to come out to Newgarden?
Under 3 seconds.
Who was the other car in the Newgarden crash?
Oh, fuck me. It was green. I don't know. I don't know the name. It was green.
You did so bad.
Yeah, I told you it was going to be bad. I'm not good at these things lately.
You literally also started to say his name, I think, for the last one. You made an F sound.
Is it VK?
No.
Francesco?
No. No.
I'm going to be pissed. I know.
Yeah, you are.
Go ahead.
Your net time your gross time is 27.20.
27.20.
Your average is going to go up again.
Yeah, I know.
Who was on pole? It was willpower, Owen.
Oh. That sucks. And then he DNFs later in the race. That's right. Because another Penske cars got out.
Yeah. Where was Malukas at the end of lap 1? He was P1. How many laps down was DeFrancesco when he rejoined? He was 33 laps down.
Oh.
They just basically made him run again to get like data and stuff.
Yeah.
How quick was the AMR the safety team out to Newgarden after his crash? It was literally less than 3 seconds. And then who was the other car in Newgarden's crash? Foster.
That's right.
Yeah, so you got 3 wrong and 2 right. So let's go up a second. So you had 28:20.
That's tough. Yep, so my final time is a 28:20, and my average time goes to a 27:97.
Oh, it's not awful.
That's not terrible. I'm in the 20s. I'm okay. But you still have 5 seconds on me per average.
Yeah, I was good at that one. That one was... I can't make any promises today. So, but yes, IndyCar. Why is it still going on my phone? Stopwatch. Yes, IndyCar. Oval race. The coolest start to a race when they set off those pyros. And they explode.
Get that in F1 right now. I need a standing start with like the lights go out and just flames shoot up from either side of the track. That was awesome.
Yeah, no, that was so cool. Did you see they posted a video of Liz Powers' reaction, like she forgot it was happening, and she's
Oh,
over, and it happens, and she like jumps, and she's like, "Oh my!" And she's like, "I totally." You could tell her she's like, "I totally forgot."
totally forgot. Yeah. She crushed
um,
her water bottle even more.
she probably did. I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention. She probably did. Um, no, I mean an oval race is so damn good, and like we said last week, that oval is like an odd shape. Like I think
It's a
corners 1
smaller.
and 2 are wider, and 3 or 4 are more
Yeah.
narrow or opposite. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
It is. So one end is a tighter curve, and the
Yeah.
other is like a more open turn.
Yeah.
It's really cool though because it's trippy watching it because it's like you watch them do the narrower turn, and it's like, oh, they like got through that super fast. Like now they're back on the straight, like back on
Yeah.
each other, and then there's the wider turn that it's like they're kind of taking their time, like feeling it out and everything. Maybe taking the higher road, like the the outside of the track and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I texted you when I was watching, and I said, "Have you watched the recap yet?" Because Connor Daly had the most insane race
Crazy.
of his life.
Crazy.
There were so many things. His start, and then the battle he had with Pato was so damn good later on.
I was locked in watching that battle with Pato. I mean, they were wheel to wheel for 2-3 laps.
Yeah, majority.
Just like,
and not just wheel to wheel. They were literally, if they looked over, they would have seen each other. Like
they would have
so
like raved. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absurd how close together they were and how just like close that battle was. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that was just such a good.
I mean,
it was
Connor,
clean too. Like,
it was so clean. There was nothing dirty about it. Connor Daly was following so closely behind Pato for some of those moves. Like any wrong move from Pato and Connor Daly was going to be out also.
Was done. Yeah.
Like they would have touched each other and both spun out. But yeah, no, their battle was intense. Connor Daly loves an oval. He deserves a win on an oval. He's a monster.
Yeah, he loves them, man. It is, and honestly, like, what a good pairing to have, like, a battle on an oval because it's Connor and we know that he loves an oval, and then there's Pato as well, who is like he likes driving a little bit looser, like around like an oval and everything, and it's just like it was beautiful. It was great.
Yeah.
Like even just watching the highlights, I was like, I'm like locked into this. Like, was just so focused on it and just like so much fun watching it. I loved it. And it's like that right there is like, that's what you want out of an oval.
Yes.
Like that's it. Like just like you said, 3-4 laps of just wheel to wheel racing. And it's just like push hard, bide your time, wait for a moment to happen. And it's like it worked so well. Like,
yeah, and like you said, it was so respectful between the two of them. It was just a good battle. I love like the IndyCar cars are so small that at one point there was like 4 wide.
Yes,
on the
there
one
was. Yeah, it was insane, and I love hearing like Will Buxton's and like James's reaction to like whenever they go like 4 wide because they'll instantly pick up on it and they'll just be like, "Oh, we're going for like." Oh my god! Like,
well, because like I feel like even obviously in the ovals, it's a little bit easier to go 4 wide. You don't see that any other time during IndyCar, but like seeing them go 4 wide, keep it clean through a turn, you're like, oh damn, they're still going.
Yeah, it's insane. I love it.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're only gonna get that on an oval.
Yeah.
So it's like just knowing, like going into an oval race, you're like, oh, this is gonna be some good, some good moments in this. It's gonna be awesome.
Some damn good moments. David Malukas, I was so upset when he brushed the wall because he was killing it.
He was moving.
It was his race. It was his race. I mean, he ended up losing, but it was his race to lose.
It sucks what happened to him too, like in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm still like a little unsure about those rules and everything in IndyCar with it, like the fast lane and I guess the slow lane. It was
him and McLaughlin, right? That both got a penalty.
I think so, yeah. And from what I remember, it's Malukas comes out and goes right into the fast lane, which I think you can do, but it's also like the way he did it was wrong. Again, I'm
Yeah,
like
it was
not
like he
100% sure about those rules.
It was like he went slow, crossed the line a little bit, but then went back into the other lane almost, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, no, that was confusing. But then when he brushed the wall, I was like, no. Well, like you just sealed your. I mean, he was in the lead lap 1. By the end of lap 1, he was in the lead, and he was in the lead for a very long time after that. He aced all the early restarts after the cautions. Yeah, they looked really good. He also loves a good oval. So, and I think it was Townsend Bell or James was like, he's been second here, he's been third here. Like he's just waiting for
he's
that
waiting
win.
for it to happen.
Yeah.
He wants it to happen. He's been so close.
Yeah.
Like
he's so close.
That was the same thing when he does tap the wall. Like you hear it again from like Will Buxton and like James and them, and they're like, "Oh no!" Like they're freaking out, and they just like they just know too, just because of like you just said, he's finished second, he's finished third.
Mhm.
Like it's like he wants to win here so badly because he's been so close, and seeing that, it's just like, damn it. Like,
yeah, as soon as it happened, I was like, no. You know, they didn't really show him in any of the highlights, like in the 30-minute recap. But Robert Schwartzman finished 10th. I think the kid's starting to like ovals.
I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely
get
getting
pole for Indy 500, and then you get. Yeah, no, I think when I saw he posted, and I was like, okay, you go, Robert Schwartzman, P10 in your second oval ever.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty good. We have Christian Rasmussen, who finished P3, which he's also a hilarious follow on TikTok. He's so funny. But he had 62 on-track passes.
Holy shit. 62?
They literally posted, I pulled it up, so I was like, I need to talk about it. 62.
That's insane.
Literally the one comment says more than 5 total F1 races combined.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, again, like, that to me immediately goes back. It's like, that's why ovals are fantastic. Because it makes situations like that.
Halfway through the race, he was a lap down. And I knew he finished third. And I was like, how the hell did he get on the podium? I was like, what am I missing here? Because he was a lap down. But yeah, 62 on-track passes is pretty...
That's wild.
Yeah, and I think his first podium in IndyCar. So...
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. So yeah, that was also fun. Can we talk about your fave?
Pato?
No, Christian.
Oh, Christian Lundgaard. Yeah.
And what did he do? What was it, Townsend Bell, when he like backed up, or James was like, you can't do that. That's
he missed his marks on the pit stop and like missed where you turn in. So yeah, he had to like back up.
Which you can't
That was
do.
also somebody who was right behind him. Somebody caught fire right behind him.
Oh, Christian Rasmussen.
Yeah. I was going to say,
like,
I think it's Christian Rasmussen.
They were like, it's another ECR because Rossi in Indy 500 caught fire. But obviously, it was just quick exhaust that burned off. But
yeah, and then before he's even out of the pit lane, it's gone, it's out. You know, it was fine. But yeah, the whole Christian Lundgaard thing, it was a weird error on his part. But it's like
a weird mistake, a very weird mistake on his part.
Like a very odd mistake, and it's like, all right, I trust that that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
You know, like, but...
And then he did get a drive-through penalty, which obviously knocked him down a few.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that was a weird thing. Oh yeah, Christian Rasmussen got biggest mover.
Yes, he did.
He went up 22 positions.
That is absurd.
That's wild.
22 positions?
62 on-track podiums. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, here it is. First career podium, Christian Rasmussen. Yeah. Indy Next posted that it was an all Indy Next champions podium this past weekend with Christian Rasmussen, Pato O'Ward, and Kyle Kirkwood.
Oh,
like the
nice.
pipeline, the Indy Next pipeline to IndyCar was pretty damn good, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, obviously, Alex Palou was kind of like not really noticeable, I feel like, on this past weekend. He didn't.
No, he wasn't. And I made a point to go look at the end of the race, and I'm like, where is he? Because they literally, I think, said his name once in the highlight reel.
And I think
And
he
I
was
was
getting
like,
passed by someone.
oh, that's interesting. Like, I thought of that too. I was like, where is he?
Yeah.
Like, but I thought, listen, as good as Alex Palou is, you cannot win them all.
No,
Like,
and he's literally. I gotta close out of that. In the championship standings, he has 335 points. Pato was next and second by 73.
he's fine.
Kyle Kirkwood's 75. The real battle's for second.
Yeah, which, I mean, at this point, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was it. The Penske boys, I feel like, are still paying for their karma from this cheating scandal. They have not had a good few weeks at all.
Well, I was cracking up in the highlights because you see Joseph Newgarden's crash.
Which was scary.
Or I'm sorry, you see Will Power, right? You see Will Power get out. Then you see Newgarden's crash. And you're like, damn, that is awful. So happy he's okay. We can talk a little bit more about that too. And then they cut to Scott McLaughlin, and they're like, Scott McLaughlin, the only hope left for the Penskes. And then literally, like, they do the lap count transition, and they're like, Scott McLaughlin's out of the race. He pulled into the pit lane. And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, and at one point they showed a Scott McLaughlin, and someone, I forget who it was, just passed him. It was so easy. I was like, okay. I was like, is Scott McLaughlin even in the race? But yeah, they've had a few. I love following Scott McLaughlin on Twitter. He's a funny follow, especially right now with Love Island. The man loves Love Island and recaps it on his Twitter. It's so funny.
Love it.
But he posted something nice. He was like, we just can't catch a break with the 13-3s and even the Penske boys. But he posted saying but this is what truly matters. It was him and his daughter because it was on Father's Day. But no. But Joseph Newgarden's crash in the race replay, in the recap, it's like they come back from a commercial and
because
flipped.
They do. I thank you for bringing this up because I thought the same thing. They do a lap count transition, and then it's literally they just open it up with Newgarden's car on its side, on its roof, and you're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I want to watch the actual broadcast to see if did it happen to cut from a commercial, and that's literally what they came back to. But yeah, I mean, at first you don't really know what happened to him. All you know is that he ended up on his side and he was sliding for a good bit. But the one Pints and Pit Stop question, someone posted on Twitter and they set a timer from the second Joseph Newgarden's car stops moving. It's less than 3 seconds for the AMR safety team to hop the wall and immediately crash down and talk to him. You see him throw his steering wheel off, I think.
Yeah.
And the AMR safety team is top tier. They don't get enough recognition, I feel because they're so good. I mean, but even Will Buxton was like, this just goes to show you the safety of these cars because.
Yes, and I'm happy that Will brought that up because you see, he says it was a T-bone crash, which is statistically one of the worst, fatal crashes you could have.
Yeah.
And both Joseph and God, I'm blanking on his name again. Got the question wrong.
Who? Foster?
Foster, thank you. I had Forster in my head. Foster and Newgarden were both good. And they were both okay. And even more so to Joseph, where it's Joseph hits him head on
and goes
and
flying,
then flips, and then literally just grinds on the top of his car for probably a good 30 yards.
Yeah.
So it's insane that the safety of the car is what point they're at and everything. And the AMR safety team literally just puts F1 to shame. It is
you blink
insane.
And you miss that they've already been there for 4 minutes. I swear,
right.
They react that quick. They deserve all the props and then they're immediate. That man jumps the fence and is on his hands and knees, looking
pretty much
down,
dives into the car. Yeah,
talking to Joseph right away. When they played Joseph's onboard of the crash, all you see is the sparks going around because it's just grinding along the track. Scary. It was also wild to see that he literally stopped at the start-finish line.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
literally
right there.
Yeah, literally right there. But But yeah, thankfully, and at first, like I said, no one really knew that Foster was the other car because Joseph looked so bad. And
Yeah,
Joseph tried to escape the crash. He
yeah.
definitely did. But I think Foster just like lost his grip, I think.
So Foster was up. He went a little high on the track,
Yeah.
hit the wall, and then from spun, hit the wall, and then from the wall, then went backwards across the track. And I swore I saw this for a second. If you watch, there's a crash video from onboard Joseph's car, and you can hear his team radio
Saying
and
impact or something?
No, well, yes, probably, but it sounds like right before he hits, you hear like the guy on the radio being like, "Watch out, watch out, watch out!" Like, and it's just like hearing that in your ears, and then watching that car just like come across, and you like, I'm sure Joseph knew in his head, like he was just like,
He was like, "It's not." Yeah,
this
it
is-
wasn't gonna be.
"Yeah, I'm hitting this guy no matter what."
I mean,
Like,
Joseph was like also going towards the wall at the same time, I think, to try and sneak around. But just as you see the car coming through, yeah, Joseph was probably just bracing for impact. But then, like, watching the slow mo was wild because he literally just takes off, and flips, and then slides. But yeah, I saw a picture. I think one of the photographers posted or someone at the track that once he was out and stuff, he got out on his own, which is amazing to see. But he was like standing along the inside wall, just like standing there, like with his helmet off, just like I think collecting himself before he walked away. Which
sure, yeah. It's sure it was literally just like all right, just breathe.
Yeah,
like you're good. That happened. Let's move on. Yeah,
and like I said, it's not like Foster came out of nowhere.
Right.
Joseph tried getting out of the way, so it's like Joseph was like, "Oh crap, this is going to be bad." So
it's gonna be
yeah. I can't imagine his wife on the sidelines like seeing that one because that one was scary.
That's all. Honestly, like I am like have been really thinking about that lately when Pete like watching like crashes and everything, where it's like, how does that person's like partner feel just like watching and just like just being a victim in all of it, and just being like, I literally can do nothing but just watch this happen. Like,
this kind of changed the subject. Someone very rudely was watching the Senna or the Michael Schumacher documentary on Netflix, and it talks about Senna's crash, the fatal crash, and they posted like a clip on Netflix. And people were like, "How like put a trigger warning or something?" But like watching that because like the drivers knew instantly.
Oh yeah.
Like you can see the look on their face, the drivers knew instantly, but it's just like the family in that moment had to know
just
instantly as well. Yeah, no, they just have to hold their breath and hope that he's okay. But yeah, Joseph Newgarden, thank God, was okay. Walked away from the crash.
Yeah.
IndyCar has no race this weekend. They are back next weekend. But I think the fact that it's only 2 race winners the entire season, and because it was Kyle Kirkwood again.
I had no knowledge that Kyle Kirkwood was the winner.
Oh, really?
And I literally had no knowledge of what the podium was whatsoever. So I'm watching it, the highlights, and I'm like, oh, Pato's like right there. And I'm like, oh shit, like does Pato win this race? And I'm like, no, I definitely would have heard about it if Pato won the race. Then I'm watching, and it's like Kyle Kirkwood, and I'm like, no shot Kyle Kirkwood wins this race. No shot that it's him. And then it literally pops up, and he crosses the finish line, and it's like 3rd race win this year for Kyle Kirkwood and 8th for a Honda car, and I'm like, what the hell?
And
like,
first ever oval win.
Yeah, I'm like, why is it literally just these 2 guys? Like,
literally just those 2 guys.
It's Alex Palou and Kyle Kirkwood. That's it. Like,
no, like you can't even be funny with that meme anymore, the employee of the month, because like Kyle Kirkwood, is winning just like. But it's the fact.
Is it less funny now, or is it more funny?
I think it would be more funny because this is the 2 of them are the only ones. Like
they're
no one
trading
else.
Back and forth.
Literally just back and forth, and it was like Alex Palou dominated the first half of the season.
Yeah,
Kyle's had 2 race wins since the Indy 500. So, yeah, no, that one. I think that I'm happy one, but like also he won. It was his first ever oval win. So the fact that we've had 2 oval races this year, and it's 2 people's first time winning on an oval. Yeah. It's pretty damn good. When the other ones that look so comfortable on an oval look so comfortable on an oval.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about this before. That moment with Pato, the way he saved it.
Oh yes, that is. I mean, they kind of talk about this, like Townsend Bell, James, and all them.
Yeah.
But like him saving that is incredible. Like, because the speed and the G's that you're feeling and you're pulling around a certain oval track is absurd. So the fact that he felt that, reacted in time, and in enough of a manner to save that and just keep going like it was nothing.
Other cars in close proximity.
Right. Like, insane that he did that. It was wonderful.
Well, and like they showed the onboard first, and it looks bad, but he saves it. And then when they show the overhead, like he literally almost lost.
He almost loses it. It's absurd, and it's crazy how fast it happens. Yeah. Because I feel like it diminishes like how deep or like how bad it could have been. Like that could have been another like really scary crash, like another really scary moment, and just like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. But the fact that he just had that knee-jerk reaction of just like, nope, I got it, and then just like was good. You were like, oh, okay.
What do they? I mean, they say he has like the fastest hands on the circuit, and he literally does. I don't know why I'm bringing this is totally random, but it has to do with IndyCar. When it's going back to Pato and Connor Daly, when they're doing their battle and the camera pans to the side view of them on the track, and it just pans with them all the way around the corner. I was like, that's the nicest camera shot I've ever seen.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It was so steady, and the background was like so blurry. I thought it was a picture. Like I thought it was fake at first.
It's such a good, like you said, that whole racing sequence was so elegant, so beautiful, so respectable between the two of them. Like, amazing. You know, it was great, you know, and I think that is a perfect summarization of what oval races are and what they can be. And it's like fantastic. Like, love it.
Yeah, I loved it too. It was a good race. I saw online people being like, "This race is intense." Like we were like, "This race is wild," which I do. A nighttime IndyCar race just seems so cool.
I forgot it was nighttime. I forgot it was under the lights. So they started getting darker out, and then they start bringing out all the like illuminated like pit signs and everything. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's right. So I was like, it's going to get dark. I'm like, that's awesome.
And they may have had the prettiest sunset I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous.
It was beautiful. I need to see the photographer's photos from that right now because that was beautiful. Yeah, no, it was good. Because obviously IndyCar switched with NASCAR this weekend because NASCAR was racing in Mexico City, basically using some of the parts of the track that F1 and Formula E raced through. Because I saw they posted that they were racing through the last corner in between the stadium section.
Oh,
it's the coolest part. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I saw Pato post. So I think Daniel Suarez won the Xfinity Cup, and Pato's like, we grew up together, same town, same track, growing up racing together. So I'm so happy. Like he won the race in Mexico. Yeah. And then it was Pato talking about like hopefully one day IndyCar can go to Mexico City and
so
drive
cool,
there.
Man.
Yeah, it'd be so cool. I mean, the Pato fans when F1 comes to IndyCar or to Mexico is insane.
Insane.
So I can't imagine when he's full on racing in
right, and he's doing his sport.
Yeah,
like
in Mexico City. I can't imagine. I do want to bring up that the one reporter Nathan Brown posted the viewers because it's a lot of talk. They've been kind of down IndyCar this year, but yes. Sunday evening, they weren't up against NBA finals. They weren't up against Stanley Cup finals. There was no baseball, I think, or there may have been baseball. There wasn't, like soccer or whatever, football, obviously. So it said it averaged just over 1 million viewers in its Sunday night primetime action. It's the second consecutive non-Indy 500 race and third overall in 2025 with above the magical 1 million mark for average viewership.
Wow.
The race peaked at 1.066 million. So
okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah. I'll take it. I think they have some other ones that are primetime, I think I remember seeing someone say something. There's 2 other races that are primetime for them. coming
Nice.
up. So, but yeah, do more primetime IndyCar races.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, like you said, especially with it being NBA Finals and it being Stanley Cup Finals, like once those are done,
Yeah.
like you really only have baseball taking up primetime spot. Now, I mean, Sunday Night Baseball is huge, but
Yeah.
you could at least it's not Sunday Night Baseball, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals,
Yeah.
IndyCar. You know, it's Sunday Night Baseball, IndyCar. Like,
And isn't because NASCAR sometimes is on. I think they've been on Prime recently, and stuff as well. But is baseball Sunday Night Baseball ESPN or
Yes.
Fox? Okay, so
Sunday Night Baseball is ESPN, yeah.
So if they do more IndyCar primetime races, it's going to go up right against ESPN primetime baseball. Okay, Sunday Night Baseball. All right. Perfect. I don't think I have anything else to add about IndyCar. Alrighty. That was IndyCar.
IndyCar! Go work, IndyCar.
Like
Good
I
race.
said, they're back next week. No race this week, thank God.
Yeah. Give us a break.
No, literally, I feel it. I was like, the other day, I was like, I think I need like 12 weeks off before.
Well, the fact that you
race.
guys, the fact that it was the triple header,
yeah,
and then literally like a week off, and then right into traveling to Canada and everything is insane.
Yeah.
But
next race to IndyCar next week is Road America, which is not an oval. So, I think the next oval is till Mid-Ohio. Oh, no, Mid-Ohio is not an oval. Oh, it's my birthday weekend. Is the doubleheader in Iowa. There's a race Saturday and a race Sunday.
Race Saturday and a race Sunday. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's a classic potato-looking oval.
Potato.
But yes, back to Pints and Pit Stops.
Back to Pints and Pit Stops.
Now I'm nervous.
This is for the Canadian GP. We're getting into our F1 talk now. Casey explained the rules earlier, so I'll give just a short brief. I will read you the first question. Timer starts. 5 questions as quickly as you possibly can.
I'm nervous.
All from the Canadian GP.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Who had their best start of the year in P11?
Nico Hülkenberg.
Who passed Fernando Alonso on the start-finish straight?
Lando Norris.
What plan did Charles recommend?
Plan B. No. Yeah.
Who did Lance Stroll pass on the hairpin?
Oh. Alex Albon. That's wrong. I don't know who it is.
Why did Liam Lawson retire?
Oh, shit. He had engine trouble. I don't know.
All right.
Power unit. Because he started running pit lane.
Damn. You know what? I'll be nice. I'll give that one to you. Because you got it. Okay. So your time is a 28:55.
Oh, shit.
Just write that down.
There's no one at this baseball game.
There's nobody at the baseball game?
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, the Panthers are playing Game 6 tonight.
Oh, so. That's right. That's right. Everybody's at the hockey game, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Answers. Who had their best start of the year in P11? You said Nico Hülkenberg. It was Nico Hülkenberg.
Okay, because he was pretty far up at the end of the...
Yeah. Who passed Fernando Alonso on the start-finish straight? This was Lando Norris.
Right in front of us.
You said Lando Norris. That's why I put it in there, because I was like, you should get this.
Should have had my camera up.
What plan did Charles recommend? You said plan B.
It's C.
Plan C.
Yeah, and then they gave him B.
Yeah. Who did Lance Stroll pass on the hairpin? You said Alex Albon. It was Pierre Gasly.
Okay.
And why did Liam Lawson retire? You originally said engine trouble, but you then said power unit after I had stopped the timer, but I will give it to you.
Thank you.
So you got 3 questions right and 2 wrong. That brings your time to a... Quick maths. A 27:55 is your final time.
We literally went opposite. You got 2 right, 3 wrong.
Yeah. And your average time goes up a little bit to a 23.2.
Alrighty. Not bad.
Before we jump into race recap, would you like to talk about your experience in Montreal?
Yes, I would love to talk about my experience in Montreal.
Let me hear it. Make me jealous all over again.
So if you live under a rock, I was
Listen, hold on. You really have to live under a rock if you did not know that Casey was going to the Canadian GP, because we've talked about it in probably about the past 3 episodes. We've mentioned
more
it.
than that.
We've mentioned it, and Casey has posted nonstop about it, that she's going to the Canadian GP,
And then
which I don't blame her for. I don't blame her for whatsoever, but she definitely has been posting nonstop about it. So,
yeah. First of all, I just like to say that post GP depression is really, how always like post concert depression. Post GP depression is so real. And like even watching the race today, because obviously it's so hard to see everything when.
I'm trying to fix my headrest. I'm sorry. It's really bothering me.
I thought you were like reclining. I was like, damn, okay. Obviously, like being there in person, it's hard to see everything. Like Dad did have the live timing up on race day and stuff.
Right.
But so then coming back and watching it, and I was like, damn, I was there. And like especially on race day, we obviously sat in GA along the last back straight after the hairpin. So
right.
Like, when you watch it on TV and they come around that hairpin, those group of people that they fly by is the group of people we were sitting with. So it's like I was right there.
Right there. That's me.
But yeah, it was. I mean, Montreal is absolutely beautiful. They go all out for the entire race. There's checker flags everywhere. There's so many streets that are closed down with different activations. There's a sick F1 store located in Montreal called Fanabox. They had a ton of different things going on. We missed it, but Wednesday they had a Red Bull car out front of the store. Thursday when we got there, we went down and they had one of the F1 Academy girls that's from Canada outside signing autographs, doing a little meet and greet. It's just so damn cool. But all the stores had different merch. The one restaurant had Charles, I believe, 2019 F1 car and his helmet now out front of it. That was cool to see. But yeah, I mean, it's just a beautiful town. And then it's a known thing that the only way you can get to and from the track is by the metro. You can do the metro or you can take a ferry. But the majority of people take the metro over. And it was such a smooth experience on the metro. We didn't have one hiccup with the metro. Nothing was ever late. Obviously, yes, when everyone's leaving, especially like qualifying day, most people left right at the same time because there was only the Porsche Carrier Cup afterwards.
Right.
Friday, most people stayed because the girls were qualifying after FP2.
Nice. Yeah.
So the most people stayed for that. Saturday, everyone left at the same time, and then obviously Sunday, everyone's leaving at the exact same time. Yeah. So it's like we're ready to like take 2 hours to get out of here. It did not. It took like an hour tops maybe to get out of there. The metro was so easily run. They had a special deal for like their weekend pass that you could buy, so it was like good for however many trips you needed on the metro and stuff. You just couldn't lose a card. So that's what we bought on Friday when we went over to the track. But yeah, we sat in. I was making a video. I did the voiceover before we started recording. Making a video because we sat in 3 different spots all weekend, which was very cool to take in. Like the first time ever being at the Canadian Grand Prix, sitting in 3 different spots, I think was the best decision we could have made.
Yeah.
Friday we had in the pit lane, which I knew we were going to be across from the garages, so I was already excited. And I swear to God, I wish someone took a video of my face because as we are walking up the path behind the grandstand, you can like see the little walkway straight through to the garages. All I see is Lewis and Charles' face there and back at me, and I was like, Mom was like, what? I was like, oh, I think we're across from the Ferrari garages. And then as we walk up, then I realized that McLaren's right in front of them. Obviously, I wasn't thinking. So we were literally directly where I sat, I was directly across from Charles Leclerc's garage, which was so damn cool.
It's fate.
Yeah, it's fate. Besides him crashing in FP1 and then not racing in FP2.
Yes.
My streak continues.
Casey's streak continues.
Someone Literally, I told Owen, if this happens again, I think I'm cursed. And literally, he crashed. The man next to me was like, "What happened to your boy?" I was like, "Don't talk about it."
I don't want to know. I don't want to talk about it. Stop it.
Yeah, but just sitting across from the pit lane, because we obviously got there early enough to watch the girls practice Friday morning.
Yeah.
And then before FP2 or FP1, they bring the cars out. They do practice pit stops. They're getting it ready. We got to watch like the pit crew doing their funny little warm up stretches all together.
Yeah.
It's just cool to see that behind the scenes before anything happens and like see what they do and how many practice pit stops they go back and forth with just doing the whole wheels, or they roll the car back and then someone's sitting it and they push forward. They prop it up and do it that way. So that was really cool. And then I think from watching FP1 and stuff, I knew kind of what, especially like, because I feel like they always show it, like Charles and Lando, I feel like I knew what their pre-practice like routine is. And I was, because I could see directly into Lando's garage too. Oscar's was a little bit covered. Dad had a better view. But I knew when Lando comes in, he goes to that front little desk area where I think Will Joseph stands. So I was like looking at him, and he literally, comes right in, stands right next to him, and then obviously Charles comes in and says hello to every single Ferrari team member. So yeah, Friday was so cool. It was also super cool seeing their practice starts from there. After FP1 and 2, that was really really cool to see. And Lewis said this the day before that. He said he loves the Canadian track because, and he was like, this is not a dig towards Austria, which is next. He's like, but as in Austria, as you're going through some turns, and he used turn 4 as an example, he goes, you need binoculars to see the grandstand. That's how far back they are. In Canada, you are literally on the track. Like, especially the practice pits, the practice starts after practice. Everyone stands up to take videos. So with everyone standing up, I could not see the cars really in like directly like on the
like right on the wall.
Yeah, right on the wall. I couldn't see them because that's how close you are to the track. You are literally on top of the track. It's so damn cool. But yeah, that was such a good. I'm happy we sat there on Friday. Obviously, yes, it sucked with Charles crashing out and then not practicing in FP2, but that was really really cool. Got very burnt. Saturday
got roasted.
Yeah, roasted. Saturday we sat along the chicane, the first chicane. So right after turn 1, they make that big little. It's like right after turn 1, 2, and then they come around. There's no stand. I think we're the first grandstand after this first starting turns. I would genuinely, I think Dad also agrees, we would sit there for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
I would sit there for the entire weekend because, first of all, the view is beautiful, but even the other grandstand, it was like 2 grandstands made an L, and we were along this way. The other grandstand could see straight down from where they were coming.
That's
cool. Then along the chicane. And then if you were at the other end of the long grandstand, you could turn and watch them keep going.
Yeah, straight down, yeah.
I would absolutely sit there again. Because on Saturday, obviously, FP3, I think it took a weekend worth of videos of Charles and FP3 during FP3, because I was like, I need them.
Need the videos, yeah.
And then qualifying, but even like the action in qualifying, it's so interesting to see. Obviously, even Mom and Dad at that point were like, no, they're on a slow lap. They're now on a fast lap. Like, you can so tell when they come through and they're not on a push lap during qualifying, and then they're on a push lap. But yeah, that chicane was good. And even during qualifying, like, one time, I have a video, it's like 3 cars came through at one time, and it's like, like they were overtaking, so like the action was so cool. And obviously just like looking out and seeing the Montreal skyline, it was just like picturesque with the cars driving. But
those pictures you showed me were amazing with the city really skyline in the background.
If it was like if they raced a little bit later in the day, like a sunset right there with them driving, would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, I think I need to touch on before we get to race day that this was the first, I think, full race weekend in Canada that hasn't rained in like a few years.
Nice.
Because last year, obviously, we know it was a disaster of a weekend.
Oh yeah.
They had to play the race replay before FP1 and 2, and I was like, damn, Ferrari was a royal F up this last weekend. I low-key forgot they both DNF'd.
That's right. Yeah, they did.
And then they played the qualifying highlights before qualifying, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, this weekend was atrocious for Ferrari.
Yeah.
It was so bad. But Sunday, we had GA. So I made mom and dad get up at the crack of dawn. We were on the train by no, literally. We were on the train by 7:45. We got there at 8:15. Doors opened at 8:30.
Yeah.
And I've said this to you, and I posted this as well. The only downfall with Montreal is there's not a lot of GA viewing spots. And if there are, like, there was a viewing spot a little bit closer to the start-finish line, but it's literally, like, it's sit on one straight line up, like, this very steep hill. So, like, it's not deep. Like, there's maybe room for, like, rows of 3 people. So, on the map, there was this one, obviously, where we sat. So, like, let's go over here. Ended up being beautiful. It was so secluded. It was, like, kind of looked sketchy at first, because as you walk up, there's, like, the gate and a sign that says general admission pointing this way. So, like, I guess it's down here. You walk across this little bridge and you come over. It's just like this little open field of grass with trees, so you're technically in the shade for most of it as well.
Right, you're covered, yeah.
Right. And, I mean, in the videos you see,
you're right, yeah.
literally on top of, you're also 2 steps from the track. Lap 1, when they went by the first few laps when they're still so close together, the breeze they were creating, because we were so close. Like, everyone knows we had GA for Miami, and obviously we stayed up in the Hard Rock, so we were above. But being able to be that close with GA and, like, literally kind of within the elements of them driving by was so cool.
That's got to be such a unique, like, when that wind hits you, you're like, holy, like, that immediately, you already feel close because you, like you said, you're right there, so you can recognize that you are literally 2 steps away. Mm-hmm. But when the wind hits you, you're like, oh, I'm, like, close. Like, I'm like, very close.
Very close. Yeah, very close. Well, and then, like, I missed it. It was your Pints and Pit Stop question. I missed it when Lando overtakes Alonso. It's literally right in front of us.
Yeah.
And they're going so fast.
Fast.
I took a slow-mo video, and the cars are going so fast, they look like they're going normal speed.
Yeah.
That's how fast they were going. But it was still so cool. And if you kept following the line, I never realized how, when you are there, I never realized how short that back straight is before they do the last little chicane into the start-finish.
Into the start-finish straight, yeah.
Because you could follow them straight down, and they were all making the overtakes right there by the Aramco, like, walkway thing, the bridge or whatever. So yeah, that was really cool. Driver's parade was really, really awesome. Like, my video from Miami, because again, we're up really high. I've zoomed in. They don't even know, like, where anyone in GA is because we're so high up. But, like, where we sat for GA, no one was on the other side. So
yeah,
we all started cheering. Every single driver turned to our section and waved.
And waved at you guys.
Yes, every single section, every single driver, which was so cool to be like, okay, yeah, they could give us our full attention because no one was on the other side of the track taking their attention. But yeah. I mean, the track is absolutely beautiful. Along the water, it's just so pretty. And the race was a damn good race. And then I made mom and dad sprint. I think dad started a workout, and it was like
Dad started a workout.
6 or 7 tenths of a mile we walked maybe in the span of like 10 minutes.
Ah, that's good.
It was the last 10 laps, and I had the last 10 laps on my phone, and we all know what happened, McLaren fans, at the end of the race. And no, but hearing the crowd's reaction when they made contact, I think I heard every single grandstand. Every single grandstand. Yeah, that was so cool. But obviously, we made it onto the track for the podium, which was so. Seeing the podium in Miami was so damn cool because it was like the perfect podium for us. But then being that close on the podium, like, I could see them legit with my own 2 eyes instead of just zooming in on the camera.
Zooming in on a video. Yeah.
No, it was really, really cool. Yeah, a lot of people are really, really cool. But I would love to go back to Montreal. I may have signed up for the updates to know when tickets are released for next year. We won't leave Owen at home this time.
We better fucking not.
We will not leave.
Listen, I know we posted that video about me being, like, really sad, but I was, like, genuinely very happy that you guys were going and everything. And we talked a little bit about this last weekend, last week, but the fact that you guys went, the fact that you guys took the time to go up, especially mom and dad too, being their first race and everything, I think is fantastic. I think it's awesome. I love that you guys were able to do that and everything, even if I wasn't able to go, and you said it earlier, but I wanted to kind of bring it back up. The fact that you sat in 3 different spots throughout the entire weekend is awesome, because I think it makes you get a better whole picture of the weekend. I experienced the Canadian GP. I did everything I could. So
I would say the one spot we didn't experience was the hairpin, because we didn't sit over there. But there are so many grandstands over the hairpin, and I mean they obviously slow down them so much so you can get a decent view. But I'm not upset. I was very nervous Sunday morning. I was like, we're not going to get a good view. We're not going to see anything. I was stressed, but it ended up working out perfectly fine. But yeah, 10 out of 10 experience. But yeah, I'm happy mom and dad enjoyed it. Definitely a lot of walking. Weather was beautiful.
Yeah.
We said Sunday was hot, but it's not going to be as hot as it's going to be here the next few days. So
no, yes.
That's why I said to mom at one point, because Friday the high was like 63, sun and clouds. It was absolutely beautiful. No, beautiful. 63. It was chilly.
Oh, I 63.
Totally.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Yeah.
Saturday was low 70s, sun and clouds, and then Sunday was like 76, not a cloud in the sky. And obviously, yes, it was hot, but I said to mom, I was like, just now imagine Miami and it's hotter.
Yep. Yeah. Miami was tough, especially the day that I wore my Red Bull jersey, because it was just like heavier, and I was just like, God, like I just feel like weighed down. That's beautiful weather. That is lovely. Yeah.
I even thought, this kind of goes into the race recap next. When it was so hot on Sunday, I was like, "There's no way Mercedes keeps the lead," because it was hot.
Oh,
like, I guess it's not as hot as like when their cars don't work.
Yeah.
Like in Miami, it was like 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's definitely they might have been just like that sweet spot of just like it's warm enough where it's like, oh, maybe it would be bad, but then it's like, nope, never mind, it's good. Yeah, because
it didn't even feel humid, but it was just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. We can kind of use this to then transition into talking about the race itself, but what was it like seeing Kimi Antonelli on the podium?
Oh, it was so cool. When we first started walking over, Charles was in like first or second. Mom was like, apparently I started packing this stuff up earlier, because she was like, Charles has a chance to be on the podium. Like, she's going to want to go.
Yeah, we gotta go. Yeah.
And obviously it didn't work.
That's a good mom right there.
Yeah, because I turned around, everything was packed up, and then I was like, wait, can we go to the podium? She's like, yeah, what did you think I was doing? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, then seeing Kimi on the podium, I do like Lando, but there was just something about seeing an 18-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we watched Lando's dream come true in Miami last year with getting that first win, but he was also on the podium before that. This was Kimi's first F1 podium ever, so it was just like, I mean, you could tell it meant the world to him. The crowd started chanting his name at one point, and then like when they popped the champagne, they both just automatically start spraying Kimi.
As they should.
People were like, it's like his divorced parents have come together to celebrate him, because it was George and Max.
George and Max, yeah.
Of all people. It was so cool to see. You could tell, literally, I don't think there was one person annoyed that Kimi was on the podium. Like, everyone was genuinely happy for Kimi on the podium.
And I mean, come on. It's one of those things where it's like, that transcends, like, the rivalries and everything in the sport. Because it's like, all the drivers have been there in that situation where it's like, I remember my first podium. I remember exactly how I felt. Must be great to see how he felt. Also, the kid is hilarious, and he's so lovable and so likable as a personality-wise. So, him, this 18-year-old kid who is now going to go take exams after he just got a podium in F1, people are like, absolutely. Like,
well, it's like you were literally watching a little kid's dream come true.
I'm sure,
you could see the look on his face be like, oh, I made it. Like, I think that's what it came across his face. Like, I've made it. I made it onto the podium. But, I said this to you guys, Canada is going to become Mercedes, I think, favorite track. They have a good
Yes.
track record here
Oh,
the
yeah.
past 2 years.
And same thing. I said, like, George Russell has such fond memories kind of
Yeah.
of Canada. So it's like, it's that track that he's just like instantly going to become like, it's Canada weekend? Okay, I feel good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay, I know this map. I know this thing. That's it. Like, there you go.
Yeah, and to get the revenge from last year of losing on pole
Yes.
to getting the pole to win race.
To
like,
win the
yeah.
race, yeah.
Yeah,
Convert
that
that
was-
pole to the
yeah.
race win is huge for him.
That's very big. Yeah, no, it was, and I mean, he drove a damn good race. I think the rankings came out saying he was a perfect 10, which no one ever gets a damn perfect 10 from those
Nobody.
stupid rankings. But not to go back with him, I was genuinely impressed with Kimi Antonelli's race. Like, just, it was like he was gifted that podium. He was the overtake. Well, Max went to go into the pit lane, so it wasn't technically an overtake, but Kimi wasn't holding back.
No, he was right there. He was literally. David DC was talking about this a little bit, and he was like, "It's such a weird phenomenon, but because it's like Kimi being the driver in that situation is like, why isn't he braking?
Yeah,
like, what's going on?" And then obviously Max dives into the pit lane, but it's like for Kimi to be in that situation and then not back out of it and be like, "This is weird. I don't know what's happening. Let me just play it safe," is crazy. But
yeah,
it paid off for him. You know, it's incredible. And I mean, I like the part too where it's Kimi with both McLarens behind him.
Oh,
and they're chasing him hard.
And
it's like,
he's not giving up.
He does not care at all. And they're literally comparing him to Oscar at that point because Oscar was getting chased by Lando, who was like right on him right before they made contact. And it's like, you go, like, they're like, oh, Oscar's so calm. He never worries about this stuff. He's okay. And then they're like, well, kind of in retrospect, like, Kimi's doing the same thing right now. Like, he's not letting up. He's not, constantly like, looking in the mirrors and then making mistakes on track because of it and everything. Like, they were like, he's just cruising right now. It's great.
It's so about Kimi, but this might have been the first driver of the day that made sense this entire season so far.
Yeah.
But his start too, that overtake on
it's good.
Oscar was
it's very good.
I think Alex is like, is Kimi gonna do it? And he goes, no, Kimi did it. Like
Kimi did it. He's passed him. Yeah,
he's passed him.
Definitely driver of the day.
Yeah.
In every aspect.
Kimi. I feel like we've known he was good. We know he's supposed to be the future, but I feel like we got a glimpse at what Mercedes could have in the future, and they're gonna be trouble.
Toto is looking at this race now and thinking the exact same thing. He's like, the moment this kid gets like in his second year, he's gonna be fucking unstoppable.
Right, with these tracks, like especially Canada, he's never driven on it. Now he's comfortable.
Right, exactly. He knows what to expect going into Canada. He knows what Canada can offer, and that's what I'm saying. That he is gonna be dangerous next year. And I can see him being even more dangerous with the smaller cars and just that mindset of just like, oh, I drove the big, in comparison, the big slow cars to these new ones, and this one's so much smaller. Okay, now I can do all these crazy overtakes and everything. Yeah. It's going to be insane. But
I'm actually, to continue with the rookies, I'm impressed with the rookies this past weekend. None of them DNF'd. None of them crashed. Like, they all had clean weekends. They kept it clean.
Yeah.
It was Haas at one point. They were wheel to wheel for a decent bit.
Yes. Yeah, they had a decent, battle, but I think Ollie backed off. Yeah.
Yeah, Ollie did back off because I think Ocon was in the points. Because they pushed the video of them celebrating, and it was his race engineer celebrating with the team. But, Haas, I was impressed with Haas, first of all. That livery in person is beautiful.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I might like that one better than the one they have now. Like, keep that original one.
The red writings is there's something about it. I'm like, damn, that looks good.
And it's on a gray, so it pops, I feel like, so much more. Yeah, it was really I forgot. I knew they had it, but then I forgot. And in FP1 I was like, oh wait. I was like, they have a special livery. It did look
really nice, and I think I kind of like it better than their regular one too. But I can imagine seeing it in person is it just popped even more, and you were like, oh damn, Like,
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, Haas. I'm trying to think. Who else? Williams kind of had a.
yeah.
I mean, Carlos ended in the points, but it wasn't a clean weekend for them overall.
No, the overall feeling that I got watching the highlights, the race in 30 was it was a tough weekend for them.
Especially
They
Alex.
kind of just like scraped by to get into the
Yeah.
points,
No,
and
yes.
they were kind of just like, let's get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
we got points, let's get the fuck out of Canada. Like,
And it sucks because like not Oscar. What's his name? Alex Albon's been doing so well, and then 2 weeks in a row they have the same problem.
Yeah.
Basically with his car. Wait, first of all, qualifying when his car just exploded.
oh my god, yes. It just ripped off. The engine cover
just is he was farther away, but he didn't make it back into the pit lane at first. So he came around. So we saw it, and I was like,
you saw
what
that
the hell?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I was very impressed that they fixed it because it was a red flag. So they fixed it and he was able to go back out, and then he made it into Q2. I was like, okay, Alex, that was pretty damn good.
That's good.
Carlos
Yeah,
did not make
that's
it
a good
into,
showing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very impressed with that. Not impressed. It was a very strange. Because literally, when you see the replays, he doesn't make contact or anything. It literally just.
No, he's just driving down the straight, and all of a sudden it's boop.
Just says, okay, bye.
See you later. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect him for getting it back, and the engineers and everything and the crew at Williams getting that fixed, is awesome to see.
Sorry, the freaking app updated, and now I have to log back in.
What app?
F1.
Oh. I don't know. Liam Lawson retiring kind of sucks, especially because it's a power unit issue. It's like you always hate to see that just because it's like it's out of the driver's control. And it's same thing with Alex, actually. It's
Look
just
how
like
different it looks.
Oh, did they redesign it? Holy hell. Oh, I'll have to look at that. I'm gonna start picking it apart. Oh wow, so fancy. Yeah, you hate to see it. It's like it kind of goes with Alex too. Like it's just out of the driver's hands.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing they can do. They're just a passenger in that situation where it's like, oh damn, they're out of the race. You know?
And especially with Liam, like they made the changes before the race started.
Right. So it's like, for that to happen, and you already started from the pit lane, it's just like pissed off, I'm sure. But
no, Isaac did okay. It wasn't like he was a Kimmy outshone him this weekend. I will give him that. Kimmy heard all those. Yeah, Isaac's the rookie of the season so far. I was like, okay.
All right. Hold on, people.
Hold your horses. But State did not have an awful weekend.
Nope. Hulkenberg finished P9?
Yeah, I think so.
P8, P9? I know he got up to P9 at one point, but I don't.
He was up to P9. Hold on.
I don't know where he finished.
Hold on, this is all new. I need to.
He's got to figure it out.
P8.
So, I mean, that's Hulk showing up in the stake.
Yeah. Bordelano was 14th.
Okay. All right. Bordelano, sure.
Oh, I forgot. Ollie was so close to damn points. He was 11th.
Oh, what was the gap to 10th, too?
Well, it doesn't tell me because it just says one lap.
Oh, all right.
I can look at it later.
Yeah, that sucks. But, yeah, Hulk finishing again in the points for stake. They must love that. So, I think it was a good weekend for them. I'm trying to think. I can't really think of anybody else before we get into like the big kind of teams.
And I guess we could go.
Alpine? What happened with Alpine?
Nothing.
What happened with Aston Martin?
Lance also went out FP1, and props to him. He literally went out in front of his grandstand.
Very nice.
Alonso finished 7th.
Okay, points.
Yeah,
we'll take it. Aston Martin will take it.
Yeah, for them that's pretty damn good. But yeah, that's all I can really say about them. Red Bull, someone posted if the Red Bull did not have Max Verstappen, they would have no points this season.
That's crazy. So Max is still single-handedly carrying the team right now.
Yeah, and they're in 4th.
That's absurd.
With 162 points.
Who's behind them in 5th?
Williams with 55.
Ah, okay. So they have a decent barrier.
And
that's crazy.
They have 162 points. Max alone has 155.
Oh my god. Dude, they need to figure something out.
Something.
With that second car. I think, where did Yuki finish?
Yuki finished 15th.
See, that's not
No.
good enough. It's not. I love Yuki. I want him to succeed.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, that was the driver's standings. 12th.
12th. He finished 12th. Okay. All right. That's still. And Ollie finished 11th. P11?
In a Haas.
See,
you had a stake in the points. You had another Haas in the points. You had a Williams in the points. And then.
See, that's. Once you add, like, say it alone, Yuki finished P12. You're like, okay, he's close. And then you put that, like, context there. And you're like, well. And you're like, oh, shit, that's not good. Yeah, Red Bull, I mean, has just gotta figure something out. I don't know. There's part of me that still thinks that Yuki is like the best choice.
He hasn't done nearly as much damage as Liam and Checo have done.
Yes. But it's also like, at what point does Red Bull again kind of have to be like, we have to cut the losses?
Or
like, I go back to again, like what I said when we talked about with Liam getting replaced by Yuki. Red Bull has seen this story play out already where Max is the only driver for them scoring points. And it ended with them losing the Constructors' Championship. Yeah. So it's like, at what point do you, like, you were in that mentality with Liam. At what point, again, do you go, okay, Yuki? Like,
I think they've come out and said that they're going to give Yuki more. I think they basically
it's the right choice.
Give him they're giving him a better chance, but I also think they know Constructors isn't theirs this year. And if they don't win the Constructors, they get more time in the wind tunnel going into the year with new regs.
True.
So it's like,
is it a tank year? Is it a tank year?
Maybe,
for Red Bull?
especially when you have Max at 155, Oscar at 198 in 1st and 3rd. Like, Max could still win the championship on his own.
Yeah. That is, yeah. I can imagine Red Bull would figure this out as well. Yeah. Obviously, if we can figure it out in our bedrooms, Red Bull can figure out, hey, if we do a little bit worse, we get more air tunnel time in new regs, stuff like that. Right. Interesting. That's an interesting
Makes me
situation.
think, especially because they've come out and said that they're giving Yuki more time, which makes me think, okay, they have finally accepted that second car is not drivable for anyone else but Max Verstappen.
They made their peace with it, yeah.
Yeah, finally after two drivers.
Yeah.
They finally decided, this is not going to work. But yeah, I mean, Max was pretty normal this year. I mean, he's not going to face a race ban in the Red Bull rank. Could you imagine?
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Red Bull did try protesting the George Russell win because they said he was doing excessive braking under the safety car.
Yeah, it was weird. He like randomly slams on his brakes. And then
when you watch from Max's onboard, it does look suspicious.
It's weird. It's very weird because Max likes to stay close to cars under safety cars, and he definitely is like right there, which I think plays a hand in it. But it really is like George, all of a sudden you see George just drop out of camera view.
It's like he brake checks him or something. Yeah. Be like, are we that close? You'll create contact. But yeah, obviously that stayed, so the results stayed the same. But we were getting onto the podium. I forgot to tell you this. When we were getting on the track to the podium, someone was like, poor George. Like, his win's overshadowed by Kimmy's podium. I said, George's win is always overshadowed.
Always overshadowed.
Literally, he got disqualified. So then Lewis was the winner. In Vegas last year, George won, but Max won the championship in Vegas.
Yep.
And then you have this year, George wins in Canada, but it's Kimmy's first podium.
It's Kimmy's first podium, and it's always something is always happens when George wins a race.
And what was it, Brazil? He won Brazil, right? But Toto wasn't there. So like,
everybody was like, well, George won, but Toto wasn't there. See,
yeah, he literally his wins always overshadowed in some way. The poor man.
There's always some sort of asterisk on George's wins.
Yeah.
Like,
but yes. Moving on to, we can do Ferrari and then end with the biggest topic of the race.
My thoughts are pretty calm on that, but
so am I, because it's pretty cut and dry. But Lando also agrees it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Ferrari, it wasn't an awful weekend. I was not completely worried with Charles crashing out in FP1 and not being able to run FP2, considering he was setting insane lap times. I mean, he was still in the top 10 at the end of FP1.
Yeah.
And he was in the top 5 for the majority after he crashed.
Right.
He set a decent lap time. So I was not worried. But then it kind of worked in his favor because he had all these new sets of tires that he didn't use because of not being in FP2 and not being at the end of FP1. I do think I posted the quote from Villeneuve. Is it in here? So I should have brought it up. Hold on, let me look for it. I literally posted, I said, it's bad when Villeneuve is defending Charles Leclerc, because that man does not defend Charles Leclerc in any way, shape, or form. So this was because obviously Owen asked the thing. Charles asked for plan C. They literally said, okay, copy.
Yeah.
And then they bring him in. What do they put him on? The hards? And he's like, I don't understand. I asked for plan C. They're like, yeah, we went with plan B.
Yeah, it's very weird now.
And
how
Lewis
they're kind of treating him.
No, Lewis had some strange comments post-race too, basically being like, I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
But this was Villeneuve's quote, saying, Charles told them plan C. The team said okay, just to make him happy. They didn't listen to the driver's feelings on track. The reason may be the strategists thinking they have more data and prioritizing calculations on computer, not human feelings on track. When you have Charles Leclerc, who has literally can manage his tires extremely well, has won on a one-stop strategy in Monza and Coda, you're like, maybe you should listen to.
It's also
Charles Leclerc.
Like, it's also just insane because you simply just cannot rely on all that technology when you have a person who has been doing this their entire life in that car saying, this is what I think we should do. You cannot just be like, oh yeah, sure. And just be like, fucking idiot, we're not doing that. Like, no.
No, like, why is he, like, you should have said that we're not listening to you then over the radio. Not saying okay and making him think that you're listening to him.
Right. For them to be like, yeah, copy, and then him to pull in and literally be like, I don't understand this decision.
Yeah.
Is weird. Very weird.
It's very strange. It's giving that they are truly not listening to either one of their drivers. And it's strange.
So odd.
Because he even, I think Alex Albon said it, and a few other drivers were saying that Canada this past weekend, the tire drag was not just like a gradual, like.
Yes, it was like a cliff. Yeah.
Yeah, they said literally that's exactly what they were. They're like, it was just a cliff. It dropped off immediately. So they knew immediately when their tires were shit.
We're done,
I'm sure Charles knew when the tires were shit, and they probably weren't.
Yeah.
Finally, when they pitted him, I was like, pit him, because he was losing so much time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Ferrari has got to do something. I mean, Lewis Hamilton was in no man's land for so long. I have to send you the video. We said this in Miami, but seeing gaps on track in person.
Yeah.
So it was the front three, and then it was Oscar. Yeah, it was the front three, then it was Oscar, Lando, Charles.
Right.
And then maybe Alonso in there at one point, and then literally I breathed like 4 times, Lewis, and then I breathed, another 5 seconds went by, the rest of the pack. He was literally, there was no one in front of him, there was no one even behind him catching him. He was in no man's land. It had to have been miserable. I can't imagine.
Huh.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's something very weird going on in Ferrari.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why?
Well,
like,
you also have Thursday morning of media day, waking up to not just one, not just 2, but 3 rumors. One being Fred's going to get fired. Lewis is unhappy, and
Yep.
Charles most likely will exercise his get out of jail free card in his clause
Right.
if next year is also shit. The fact that you had like triple right in a row, yeah, that's on the same day. That was pretty. And then to have a weekend like that where it's clear you're not listening to your drivers
Yeah.
on track and the feeling of their tires. But who knows? I think they have upgrades coming. God forbid. But yeah, it's rough.
But upgrades are going to do nothing if you're not listening. If you
Exactly.
can't communicate to your team, not that Charles isn't communicating, but if there is a clear disconnect there between team and driver, upgrades are going to do jack shit because it's okay. Like, I think we should do this. Well, we think we should do this. Okay. Well, who is right? You know, and what kind of plan can we come up with? You know,
I will say, despite that, they did get the fastest pit stop of the race again. So
they did 2.1, right?
it was Lewis, and Charles was third, I think.
Yeah.
I also never realized this. In the pit lane, they have whoever has the fastest pit stop of the season above their garage. So above Charles, it says the fastest pit stop of 2 seconds flat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never knew that, but they have it like on the DHL banner above their like above their pictures and their names. It has that. Yeah.
That's good to know. I didn't know that either.
But yes, McLaren.
There's not much to say here. Lando, I will say this. I think Lando showed a lot of maturity in the immediate and
the post.
Just literally, that was on me. It's all my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it. I liked that they went up to each other in the media tent afterwards, said, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good. We're good. You know, don't worry about it. I think that immediate radio message from Lando and the fact that they talked about it in the media tent afterwards kind of clears the air of like any sort of story that might come out of it where it's like, look at these guys, like they're just racing, like they hate each other. Nope, not it. You know, like it was hard racing against each other, and Lando made a stupid mistake. That's it. You know, I cannot wait to see the Netflix supercut of I hated him and I want to pass him so bad, and it ends in this mistake and blah, and it's like, whoa, hold on, like don't do that.
Well, it's going to be like the Max and Daniel Ricciardo going into the back of each other clip that we've seen every year on Net Drive Drive. Did you see the F1 posted that hold on, let me open it. They posted a clip in Canada from 2011 when it's Lewis Hamilton, Jensen Button.
Oh, yes.
Literally exact same thing to a T.
Yeah.
The exact same mistake. I don't know who's behind, just literally tries to squeeze up the middle just like Lando did on Oscar and clips his front wing and then crashes out. But it's the fact that it's the same place, same team, just two different teammates, but they're in kind of the same position with the championship things. But yeah, it was, I mean, when it first happened, I was able to see the replay right away, and people were like, Oscar didn't leave him any room. Oscar didn't need to leave him any room.
No, he did not.
But yeah, people were going up to the barrier that he hit. Dirty Side of the Track posted a picture. They went up and took a picture with the skiff, whatever, the skin mark. It was clean. I don't know why they made them both go to the stewards afterwards and give him a 5-second penalty. I do agree with some people. Normally, if you get a 5-second penalty for causing a collision, you do get a penalty point. And Lando did not get a penalty point.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, very. So people are like, is it the British bias or whatever? But like,
it definitely doesn't not help that theory.
No, because if you literally probably Max a few weeks ago got for causing a collision, or like in the past, and has gotten a penalty point. But yeah, that's what that's what one of the reporters was like. Why are they even making them go? Like Lando took full blame. Everyone knows it's Lando's fault.
It's weird because coming from the perspective of not watching the race happen live and seeing that in the post race, but getting all the notifications before I had watched the race, where it's like this happened, Lando gets a 5-second penalty for it and everything. I was like, oh wow, like this must be like a really kind of tense moment. Almost like a papaya rule situation, but there was contact and everything. And then it's like I watch it happen, and like I said, Lando immediately gets on the radio and is like, "That's on me, all my fault."
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, guys. I'm okay, but I'm sorry. I was like, "Oh, this is it." Like,
yeah. Well, and like it was like 2 laps before they did come over the radio and say you are free to fight him in your next DRS,
Yeah,
like the DRS
yeah.
zone. And I was like, oh, they're gonna let them
They're gonna let it happen.
go.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, but yeah, and then just like, but that entire last lap with the two of them was so intense.
yeah, sure.
Well, they were wheel to wheel for a decent bit as well, following next to each other. But yeah, that one was good. But yeah, the crowd when they made contact, because we were walking, so I had it on my phone. But obviously, the TV broadcast, when you are there in person, it's so ridiculously far behind the TV broadcast. It's stupid, but a race ending under a safety car is always annoying. But I'll take it.
It's annoying, but I mean, listen, I think it's.
Well, I like the Lewis Hamilton fans immediately because like Abu Dhabi being like, oh, so a race can end under a safety car.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think it's a shitty situation for McLaren. Yeah. You don't want to see it because of your drivers are leading driver championship and you are leading World Constructors Championship. So DNFing with 3 laps to go in the race is like, all right, like,
yeah,
come on.
Especially with Mercedes, who picked up a shit ton of points this weekend.
Right. Yeah. So it's okay, but like I said, it's not this. I don't think it's going to be this building block towards like a season-long tension between Oscar and Lando, which I think is overall better for the health of the team and the health of the season. So it is what it is. Like I said, Lando, it's a hands-up moment for Lando. I move on.
I said to Mom and Dad, but you'll probably get it. I said to them, if like Lando goes on to lose the championship, I feel like this is going to be that moment like Charles Leclerc in 2022 when he's the no radio in France, because that was his mistake. Like obviously everything else was team issues, reliability issues, but like that was his mistake, and he was immediately being like, that's the reason why I lost the championship. And I feel like if it continues to slip away, Lando's gonna be like, yeah, that was the moment when I lost it. Yeah, that was when I lost the championship.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
But yes, Canada was a good one. Didn't disappoint.
It was a good one. I enjoyed it.
I'm just extremely sunburned with my watch tan.
Yeah, you are. That is the watch tan that I've ever seen. Holy hell.
It's okay. It doesn't hurt anymore. The Saturday night when I was trying to go to bed, I like every time I would like roll over, it would just hurt, and I was like, and it's like obviously not your own bed because you're like in a hotel. So I was like, oh, I was like, okay, I don't know which way to go, but yes, Canadian Grand Prix. You will always be remembered. Thanks for a good time.
Thanks for a good time. Glad it was a good time.
Next year, Owen will be back. So
yes,
Owen will be
with us. I will.
But yes, moving on, we're gonna end with this. Oh, we didn't say it, but the race recaps were brought to you by Furious Motorsport.
Yes, go use the link in our bio.
I'm wearing mine today.
Yes, Casey's wearing her jersey today. I am not. Although.
Sorry, Andrews.
We got run right there. No, that is one for a giveaway.
Giveaway?
More details on that once we know more. But yes, thank you, Furious Motorsport, for partnering with us and working with us and everything. We love working with them and being in collaboration. Please go use the link in our bio on our social medias to go over to our Furious Motorsport site. If you use that link, you'll get an immediate 10% applied to your order, and it's also a great way. It's also a fantastic way to show Furious Motorsport where you're coming from, who told you to come over, and everything. So go use our link. It's the easiest way. You can also use the code Underground10, but we do recommend the link. Just like I said, it just auto applies it for you. You don't even have to think about it, and it's just good to go. So thank you, Furious Motorsport.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people wear that this weekend, actually. So that was cool.
That doesn't shock me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really. I saw a decent amount. I didn't pack mine, but because I was like unsure about the weather, but I knew I could have worn this one on. I could have worn this on what's it called? It's a Friday. I mean, totally fine. But I do have to say, didn't even tell you this about Canada. I met one of our thread followers.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, I did see this. Yeah.
Yes. So we were standing in between FP1 and 2. we just got like lunch and we were sitting along the side in the shade eating, and this girl comes up and she's like, "Are you Casey?" And I had my back turned, so I literally was like, "Who the hell knows me here?" I was like, "What the
Oh my
hell?"
god, you got recognized.
Yeah, and her name is Jennifer, but she's a loyal follower. She has always interacted forever. I feel like she's been one of the earliest followers we had on social media. But she said,
Yeah.
they were along the start finish straight as well all weekend.
Nice.
So, but she said she was like looking to see if the people that she knew was here, or at the race, and like saw that we were close. And then she was like looking and happened to see us. But yeah, literally we're talking and stuff. She was super super nice. As we're talking, this other guy comes up and wearing the Charles Monaco hat, and he's like, excuse me. Mom goes, I really thought you were getting noticed by someone else.
That would have been crazy.
I was like, get the heck? He just wanted to know where I got the hat from. But yes, I just wanted to give it a shout out because it was so cool meeting. I didn't get to see Jerry's side of the track, that never happened, but it was so cool being able to like see one of the Threads family followers in person. So
that's always a good time.
Yeah. But yes, before we finish, Owen and I got to see a certain movie that's coming out next week yesterday.
Oh, yes.
We won't go into too much details. We'll give a more in-depth review
we'll do a spoiler review and thoughts and everything. Once the movie's out, give it some time and everything for people to go see it. But yes, we had an amazing opportunity to go see it early, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it.
It is a great, like, I don't want to like spoil anything. That's like hard for me to talk about it, not to, but
I said to Tasia today, I said the technology used to film the racing scenes is absolutely sick. Obviously, we knew kind of some of the technology because I think they used some of the same stuff they used in Top Gun.
Yeah.
But between that, the score by Hans Zimmerman was
fantastic,
out of control, and then like
love it.
And then the driver and like team principal cameos were funny and like just cool to see because obviously like we watch them every week.
Right.
Seeing them in the movie trying to act was funny.
Yeah, there are definitely some like cringy moments in it where you're just like, but it is always around when it's like a team principal or driver or something. Somebody who's not Brad Pitt, who is a seasoned actor and knows what to do and everything, so it was good. It was a really enjoyable movie. It's a fun time. I recommend going and watching it. It's a good film.
It's action packed. I will say that. Someone posted today that was at the premiere last night saying, and I think it's kind of perfect. It's like 80% racing, 20% storylines, which I think is so cool because that also doesn't. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. It doesn't make it seem like it's 2 hours and 30 minutes because it feels like you're watching a race. I mean, at some points I was like tense. I was like, oh my god. I was like,
it definitely. It does do. The one thing it does very, very well is feeling the intensity of the car and everything when you're in a racing scene. That is what it does very well. So I think it was great. I loved it. I'm so happy that we got the opportunity to do that.
Same.
Thank you to the F1 Arcade for organizing this and everything. So I loved it. I cannot wait to talk about it more once it's
I want to talk about it in so much detail. But it was really good. I'm impressed with it and happy with it. And I'm happy we got to see it in like the Dolby theater because I feel like that's the way you're supposed to see it. So
if you can go watch it in any sort of like Dolby Cinema or like IMAX theater, something that's more than just like a standard movie theater, highly recommend because like you said, the score by Hans Zimmer is amazing and you can tell it's an Apple film because the audio and video quality is just like top tier. So it's like, go see it in some form of upgraded format if you can. It's 100% worth it.
Splurge a little, but yes.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. Anything else you wanted to add?
Nothing.
Thank you for joining us for episode 113. If you made it all the way to the end, you're a real one.
It is a longer one.
We knew going into this one it was going to be a longer one, so thank you for listening to us, to listen to me ramble about Montreal and our race recaps. We will be back next week. Maybe, I don't know if we'll talk about the movie a little bit more, or then we have predictions for both IndyCar and F1. It's Red Bull Ring. the scene of the crime from last year with with Lando and Max, where the frenemies first started. But yeah, so we will be back next week. As always, please go give us a follow over on Instagram at Threads at _underground_, on Twitter or X at UG Circuit Pod, and on TikTok at _underscore_circuit. I have some content coming out. We have some stuff we're going to be getting out from. I have so many videos from this past weekend.
Yeah, bunch of stuff from this past weekend.
So stay tuned for that. Obviously, give us, like we said, we just teased maybe something fun that's behind Owen on the chair. So go give us a follow. As always, please also go like, comment, and subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcast. We will be back next week, and enjoy the weekend free, people. I know I am.
Enjoy the weekend off. Get settled. Get ready for Austria.
I'm going to sleep.
Oh, yes.
Goodbye, people. Thank you.
See you later.